it comes to game collecting, one of the main reasons I collect is nostalgia. And for me, there is not many things more nostalgic than these PlayStation demos. Now recently I've been donated tons of demos for both the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, and today we are taking a stroll down memory lane for PlayStation, the demo years.
Get pick up! Building the games world! World trips! Not getting your head!
Oh yeah! Hello again folks, and welcome back to a very special episode, as today we are taking a stroll down memory lane to a very nostalgic time for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you people watching, the PlayStation demo years. It was an absolutely incredible time. I can remember every month rushing to the newsagents to grab the new latest PlayStation magazine, not just to be able to read about the newest games coming out, but to be actually able to play them. It felt like we were the first people able to experience these games. It felt like being a gaming journalist, being able to get hands on with these games before they were released, and more importantly then, deciding what games to spend our hard-earned pocket money on. Because here's the thing folks, back in the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 days, I'm sure most of us only had one source of income. And that was pocket money, and outside of birthdays and Christmases, games were very, very expensive. Remember, back in the day, a brand new PlayStation or PlayStation 2 game was $39.99, and that is a lot of pocket money. But of course, you could buy a platinum game for half the price of $19.99. But every month you could go to the newsagents, pick up the official PlayStation magazine, and there, on the cover, would be the fabled demo disc. And now, for a much cheaper price of $4.99, you could play loads of brand new games, watch videos, and even read about what was coming up in the world of PlayStation. And for £5, that was a lot of entertainment. And this is why I love the PlayStation demos so much. I remember running around to my friend's house, sitting down on a sofa, one of us playing the demo, the other one reading the magazine, and we just felt like we were on the cutting edge of what was cool. We knew all the games that were coming out. We knew what to look forward to. We knew what to save our money for, and even more, we were able to play some of these games seemingly we thought before anyone else. We knew what was cool, PlayStation was cool, and we were on the cutting edge with these demo discs. Fast forward to today, and sadly it seems that demos are a thing of the past. There are very few gaming magazines still in newsagents, and to the best of my knowledge, none of these have demo discs. Even when you go onto some of the online stores, the PlayStation Store, Xbox Live, even the Nintendo Switch Store, there is a very small amount of demos available for games. And here's the thing, back in the day, we knew what a game was going to be like. We could play it and see if we enjoyed it. Nowadays, it's getting harder and harder to find out what a game is going to be like before you shell out your hard-earned money on that game. And honestly, with a lot of the games that come out these days, they have day one problems. They have bugs. They are not finished products. I think demos need to make a comeback. They would just instill so much more confidence in the public playing these games. But for today, we are going back to the golden age of PlayStation demos. That's because recently I've received multiple donations of demos from some of you amazing viewers. Now, I know these aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I'm slowly aiming to get a complete PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 demo collection. I find these fairly often at car boots, sometimes in charity shops, so any help is really, really appreciated. And today we have 3 amazing donations from some of you incredible viewers. So let's take a stroll down memory lane to the PlayStation demo years. But just before we head down memory lane, I want to remind you folks, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. Now, let's head down memory lane. Let's jump into our first package then, and first and foremost, let me just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who has sent anything in for my collection. It means a lot for me. It is never expected, and it just makes my day every time somebody reaches out saying they'd like to donate something to the collection. Now let's jump into this first package here. So this demo was sent to me by Tyler, a viewer of the channel, and this is the thing with all of these demos. These are simply time capsules to a specific time in the PlayStation years. So this is from 2006, Christmas 2006. And what were we looking forward to playing Christmas 2006? By the looks of things, it wasn't going to be a great Christmas. We've got Aragon, PES 6, but you got to play a classic Silent Hill 3. Now this is one of the later PlayStation 2 discs. You can tell because it has cheat game saves. These were incredible. You could download to your memory card save games. So like you wanted to have everything unlocked, you could simply stick one of these saves on your memory card. And this was a strange time. 2006 Christmas, and the most exciting game was Aragon. Like, there is not much to write home about on this demo, but this is just the start of our stroll down memory lane, the PlayStation years. Next up, we have a donation from a fellow YouTuber, Jason from Command and Console. Now, if you haven't checked out his channel before, I will link it in the description down below. Please go and check it out. He is doing some incredible videos at the minute where he is purging his collection. Yeah, I shudder thinking about it, purging anything. I never get rid of anything, but it's a really interesting series in which he's thinning down his collection to the games he really wants, and that is probably why he sent me what's inside this box here. Let's jump straight in then, and on top here we have a note, and I always love when people include a little note in here. So it says, "Hi Dan, greetings from Command and Console." Remember, subscribe. "I found this stack of PlayStation 2 demo discs circa 2004-2006. So we're going back to an earlier time in the PlayStation's life cycle. And you're the first person I thought of that I knew would love these." Yep. "Me and my partner watch all your videos with your energy and passion for video games," because I love them. "The channel is the reason I started my very own game collecting channel, and a good channel it is too. Thanks for all the inspiration and all the entertainment, and as always, keep playing the game. We're not finished yet. Keep sticking it here." Thank you, Jason. Let's jump into this one. So, as always, packaged with so much love. And our first demo here is from August 2004. So you can see we've got Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, Hitman Contract Mashed, an absolutely fantastic racing game. Some really nice demos on here, including Spider-Man 2. And remember, these did also have some videos. Next up, we have one of my favourite games from this era. This is 2005 Lego Star Wars. Such an absolute banger. That was one of the very first games that me and my brother played together. And that game will always have a very special place in my heart. As well, we've got Fight Night Round 2, SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, Juiced, and Killzone. It's amazing that they've not put Killzone higher. It must have been after Killzone's release, I'm not sure, but I digress. Next up we have, from July 2004, we have footage on this one mainly, but so the games you can play are Siphon Filter, which you think they'd kind of jump on more. They seem to be more focused on Athens 2004. But here's the thing, sometimes you look in the small print of these and you can play Serious Sam on here. Like, Serious Sam is a bigger game than Athens, so is MASH. So most of the games on here are big. I don't know why they went with Athens on the cover for that one. On to the next one, April 2004, SOCOM 2 and Final Fantasy X2. That's some big demos on there, as well as some game saves. So yeah, this is what I mean. Completed save with all the extras for Ratchet and Clank. That's a really cool. This is like old school cheat files. That's really, really cool. On to the next one. Tekken 5 and Destroy All Humans. Two very strong games. This is from July 2005. It actually has a Platinum Classic on here, Pro Evo 4, which, you know, I love me some Platinums. Moving on, Hitman Blood Money and Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Absolute bangers here from May 2006. Really, really strong games there. This is a very good one. And I'm again surprised. Very good games here. So we've got Black, 24 the game, and then below a lesser known game called Shadow of the Colossus. Very, very strong February 2006. A good time for the PlayStation scenes. Final one in here, Driver Parallel Lines. We Love Katamari, which is a really big game again. And this is from March 2006. This is the thing, you can look back at these demos and it just goes to show what was cool for the PS2 in those days. So thank you, Jason. Please go and check out his channel. On to the next box. Moving on from one Jason to another Jason, and this Jason is a local collector in my area, and he reached out saying he was having a clear out and found a load of PlayStation and PlayStation 2 demos and wondered if I'd like them for my collection, and of course, yes I do. So let's jump into these ones. Now there's a very interesting selection here. That's because it wasn't just the official PlayStation magazine that had discs, but more of that later. First off, we're going to jump into the official PlayStation discs in here. So we have 4 official PlayStation discs here. The first off is from November 2003 with Jak 2 Renegade, an absolutely incredible game. But there's so much more in this, including Beyond Good and Evil, Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Some absolute bangers. That's what I mean, 12 brand new demos to play for just $4.99. Moving on to the next one of my very favourite games from the PlayStation 2, Star Wars Starfighter. I absolutely love Star Wars, and this was one of the best early Star Wars games which I played. This one is from May 2001. That's the thing, the PlayStation had an incredibly long lifespan, and demos survived that entire lifespan. Next up we have the Hit Squad, which means you could play Silent Hill 3 plus 11 other games. This is from a special edition magazine, so yeah, it must just be like a compilation of some of the best. This has some bangers on here, some really good games. Splinter Cell, Def Jam Vendetta, the best wrestling game. It isn't really a wrestling game, just some real bangers. That's really cool to have a best of disc. And finally we have from July 2003, you could play SOCOM US Navy SEALs and Jak and Daxter Twisted Metal Black, and a lesser known game called Ico. Again, sometimes they really pick the stranger games on here. But I think when I played this one back in the day, there's only one game which I wanted to play, and that was WWE SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. So when it came to demos, the official PlayStation 2 magazine had the monopoly. They were the only magazine, to the best of my knowledge, that offered demos. But other magazines did offer discs. Magazines such as PSM. So PlayStation 2 magazine got away with having DVDs. So still, before like the golden age of YouTube, etc., this was the best way to check out a lot of his brand new games. And there was only one game anyone was talking about in January 2001, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. And this was a way you could check out footage from this absolutely incredible game alongside 25 hot PS2 games. And at the end of the day, I can't remember buying these ones back in the day because I was trying to get the magazines which had demos. So these are really cool and are pretty new to me. A lot of these have some really interesting games like Tekken 4 and Virtua Fighter 4, which randomly came out in September of... It's the most difficult one, these ones aren't listed. 2001 to the best of my knowledge. So these are all kind of random collections from random years. We have games such as SSX Tricky, Final Fantasy, some footage of Half-Life, which plays incredibly well on a PlayStation 2, even if I do say so myself. So the only thing that is annoying with these, you don't know what year they're from, so you really look in, but being able to go back and experience Tony Hawk's 3, Tekken 4, just watching some of the trailers now. Some of these trailers have probably been lost to time. This could be the only way to experience a lot of the trailers for these games. And like world exclusives such as RoboCop, The Future of Law Enforcement, a game I don't think I've ever played. But being able to get like exclusive footage and being able to watch longer bits, probably why these DVDs were really, really popular still. Just so many good games, being able to go back. I'm really looking forward to jumping into one of these and just seeing what's on there, just checking out the footage and the world exclusive premieres of some of these games. Like, there's just so many incredibly good games. At the end of the day, like, if you didn't see trailers and footage of these games on the telly, this was probably one of the only ways to like really get a good idea how these games played if they did not release a demo. And it's just such a cool donation. There's so many cool stuff on these discs, like all of these absolutely iconic games. To be able to have like this library of demos and maybe unreleased footage of these games, there's probably some absolute gems on these, and I cannot wait for a rainy day to stick one of these in the PlayStation 2, because remember it is a DVD player, and relive some of these absolutely classic trailers, behind the scenes footage and exclusive gameplay of some of the best PlayStation 2 games. So what have we learned so far? Back in the day, some PlayStation magazines had demos, some magazines had DVDs, and some magazines had these, cheat and tip books. Back in the day, if you got stuck in a game, not many of us had access to the internet just to look it up, or you can just hop on YouTube and work out how to get through these games. You had to use one of these and read through either how to cheat your way through or how to get through the game, or even worse, to ring one of these cheat hotlines, which cost £3 maximum. But I know some of these people got stung and their parents probably were not impressed by the phone bills, but these are just such an incredible zeitgeist. Once again, I used to love getting these books. Like, me and my friend, one of us would be sitting here seeing how to get through the game, and the other one would be playing. It's just such a throwback. It just smells like nostalgia to me. And these are just such a kind of bygone item now. Like, no one needs these nowadays. I still love them, and honestly, I think it's more fun sitting on the sofa reading through a guide like this than just jumping online or jumping on YouTube and watching a playthrough. But of course, when it comes to demos, there is nothing more iconic than these PlayStation 1 demos. This is where it began for me. Quite ironically, this was the first demo which I can remember playing. And I was able to play Gran Turismo 2, Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, and Spyro the Dragon 2, amongst others, for just a £5. This was an incredible way to find out and to discover some of the very best games the PlayStation 1 offered. And Jason has donated loads of these demos for my collection. I'm just going to jump straight in. Here we have one of my favourite demos of all time. It has Metal Gear Solid, Quake 2, and Dino Crisis. And oh my, we need a new Dino Crisis. Capcom, if you are randomly watching this, more Dino Crisis, please. Please just give it the Resident Evil remake to Dino Crisis. Ignore Dino Crisis 3, just 1 and 2, please. Let's get, I digress. We have a specific Disney one here. So on here you can play 7 great Disney games. I will kind of leave that in inverted commas because honestly, a lot of these Disney games were a little bit throwaway. But let me know in the comments down below your favourite Disney game on PS1. Then jumping over here, we have Dave Mirra BMX and Tony Hawk's 2. Doesn't really seem fair to Dave, does it? Doesn't really seem fair. Then we have Ridge Racer Type 4, an absolutely incredible game. I loved playing this with a Pac-Man car. So good. Just memory lane, all of these. Not this one. We've got the Mummy, UEFA Champions League, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But honestly, I think nearly everyone had Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Just for those kind of Christmas and holiday times with the parents and family. That was the go-to game we had to play on PlayStation 1 for some reason. Then we have Driver. Brutally hard demo, if I remember. I think to get into the demo you had to do the tutorial, which most people just didn't do. Speed Freaks, the game that was going to beat Mario Kart. Absolutely fantastic game. We also had Tony Hawk's on here, Rat Attack, and here's one of the other things. You also had Net Your Rose games. That's right, games people made themselves got demos, and some of them, this is the only way to play them, is on these discs. Some of them are actually pretty solid. We have Tomb Raider 3. It's again, back in the day, sex sells on the PlayStation. You can see Lara on the cover there. Pretty poor one here. World League Soccer. It's always a poor month when it was a football game on the demo. It's always disappointing. But this one's better. Siphon Filter, Ape Escape, and Bloody Roar 2. And Driver's back again. It's an all-new demo because I think probably people couldn't play the last demo because of the tutorial. And this one, at least you could actually play some of the game. Then, this is a big one. A world-exclusive playable demo of Final Fantasy VIII. How they managed to get Final Fantasy VIII onto this disc just blows my mind. But then, from Final Fantasy VIII to, I would say, probably the most important game demo I ever played. Metal Gear Solid. I spent hours on this demo trying to complete it in as many different ways as possible. I'd never played a game with such freedom to do what I wanted until I played this game. Absolutely iconic. Then we have FIFA, Gran Turismo 2 and Crash. Very strange selection there. Weird they went to FIFA first. Roll Cage, Le Mans and Red Sun. Not a strong month for this one, any hidden bangers on there. Demolition Racers and Medieval 2. Probably would have led with those two. And then we have the other Tomb Raider free demo. Here's the thing with these demos, they are absolutely iconic. But there's few things that are more iconic than the next pull out of this box. This is without a doubt the most iconic demo disc of all time. Demo 1. Packaged in with the original PlayStation console. This for most people was the first experience they ever had the PlayStation, and it has some of the most iconic games ever released. It has playable demos, previews, tech demos, including Ridge Racer, Jumping Flash, Wipeout, Loaded, Destruction Derby, Air Combat. This was the first thing that most people played on PlayStation, and it blew people away. I really do not think I can put into words how much of an impact this one disc has had on countless gamers. But if by some way your first experience of the PlayStation wasn't Demo 1, then I am betting it was this Demo 2. Check out the iconic artwork on here. We have Resident Evil, Wipeout, F1, Tekken, Crash Bandicoot. And here's the thing, this for so many people would have been their first memory of the PlayStation. Opening up their brand new console, opening up this disc, sticking it into the PlayStation and playing some of the best games that this console had to offer. And what a time this was. And it's amazing that this entire time in gaming can be wrapped up and put onto this one disc. With a disc which has such little memory as such, this holds so many memories. There we have it then, folks. That was a trip down memory lane to the PlayStation demo years, and thank you so much to everyone who reached out to donate demos to my collection. I am slowly building a very comprehensive collection of demos, and it's like having my own time machine. Being able to go to the shelf and just pick a demo off there and just go back to like a random month from the late 90s to the early 2000s, and to be able to go back and experience what we were talking about, reading about and playing at that time. It really is a trip down memory lane, and honestly it was a golden age of gaming. But I want you to let me know in the comments down below, what was your favourite PlayStation demo of all time, and more importantly, the memories which are attached to that demo disc. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, but as always, keep playing the game. See you soon.